Almost everyone overlooks this crypto opportunity, Supra versus SEI, in a complete analysis. Most crypto investors focus on the wrong data and miss out on real opportunities because of it. SEI and Supra might sound the same to many, but when you look at the numbers, there's a clear winner. In this video, I break down both coins in terms of tokenomics and community, and you'll find out which one can truly surprise you and which one won't. If you miss this, you'll later say, "If only I had seen this back then." Welcome to 10x with Marius, your channel for honest, data-driven altcoin analyses. First off, SEI is fast, efficient, and already one of the favorites among the crypto elite. Supra is small, radically different, but technically superior in an area that almost everyone underestimates. But first, what exactly makes SEI special right now? SEI is a specialized Layer 1 blockchain for trading. With block times under 400 milliseconds, it's one of the fastest contenders worldwide. It uses Tendermint and WASM, optimized for DeFi and exchanges. That naturally makes SEI ideal for high-frequency trading, like DEXs or scalable trading applications, for example. SEI is like Wall Street, but on-chain. They have a fixed supply, no inflation risk, and vesting and staking are transparent. Staking yields are about 5.5% per year, supported by Cycle Ventures, Coinbase, Multicoin Capital, and launched via Binance Launchpad. If you're looking for stability with a DeFi focus, SEI is a solid foundation. But now, let's move on to Supra. What makes Supra so exciting? It's not a regular blockchain, but rather an automated DeFi platform based on a multi-VM architecture. It combines EVM, Move, and Cosmos VM, so you get maximum compatibility. Built-in tools like native oracles, VRFs, automation, and cross-chain communication. 500,000 transactions per second are possible thanks to the Moonshot consensus. They're extremely strong here. Formally verified by Microsoft IVY, a unique selling point in the crypto space. Goal: Auto-FI strategies that automatically adapt to market conditions. Market cap: under 60 million, but partnerships with Binance, MasterCard, and Coinbase. Staking: 8% per year. Supply: maximum supply is already in circulation. There is a risk of inflation, but in return, there's massive upside potential. If you're betting on innovation and early potential, Supra could be a high-risk, high-reward pick. Definitely stick around until the end, because I'll show you which coin structure is more sustainable and what the 10x forecast reveals about both coins. So, as always, grab yourself a coffee, drop a relaxed like for me, and then let's go. But a quick disclaimer, my channel is not financial advice, it's purely for informational purposes. So let's start with the market data first. The most important market metrics. SEI currently has a market cap of $1.64 billion, Supra is at 52 million. You can already see here, Supra is valued much lower. Circulating supply. For SEI, 58% is already on the market. For Supra, about 20% is on the market. This means that a lot more is already on the market for SEI, while many more tokens will still be released for Supra, which is suboptimal. FDV for SEI is at 2.58 billion, for Supra it's 327 million. Here too, you can see how the valuation stands. Of course, this is ultimately related to the token distribution. What does it look like? Are there any lockup periods for either of them? SEI was fairly distributed, with staggered lockup periods for the team, for example. Supra relies more heavily on stakers, the community, and airdrops, but it has an inflationary model. Conclusion in this area: SEI is stable, large, and well distributed. Supra is small, but has massive growth potential, though, of course, with significantly higher risk. Let's move on to the second point of tokenomics, inflation. Now let's take a look at the tokenomics of both. SEI has a fixed maximum supply of 100 billion tokens, no inflation, no new supply. Vesting is linear and includes a cliff, which is a positive aspect. Staking rewards are around 5.5% per year. Supra, on the other hand, has a maximum supply of 100 billion tokens. What does that mean? Well, it means that a lot of tokens could still be added in the future. That carries inflation risks. On the other hand, there's a higher staking rate per year, around 8%, and the lockup periods were also fairer. They weren't locked for 6 months, or in the case of the founders' tokens, even 12 months. You always have to keep in mind here that, in the end, Supra still has a rather unique tokenomics. Conclusion: here, Supra is very stable and deflationary, with higher rewards, but of course also a higher risk due to token emissions. Next, what about the tech in the use case? Because now it's getting technical. SEI is a specialized layer 1, optimized for high-frequency trading. With its 400 millisecond block times, SEI is among the fastest blockchains in the world. Important, SEI is based on proof of stake, while for example Casper uses proof of work. Some people always compare the two, but you really can't compare them. The new SEI v2 architecture brings parallelized EVM functionality. The whole thing is based on Tendermint, so it's carbon neutral and ideal for DueFi and DEXs. Supra, on the other hand, is taking a completely different approach. Multi-EVM means that EVMs on Move, Solana, and Cosmos are all compatible with each other. This allows developers to be more flexible. On top of that, there are native tools like oracles, VRFs, automation, and cross-chain communication. And all of this runs on the so-called moonshot consensus. So, theoretically, 500,000 transactions per second are possible. The whole thing was audited by Microsoft's IVY, which is a verifier. In other words, they are formally secured. Conclusion: SEI is specialized, fast, and focused on trading. Supra, on the other hand, is extremely strong technologically, bringing a completely new concept, automated DueFi. Now let's move on to the community and adoption. Who has the stronger community? SEI currently has almost 1 million followers on Twitter and has over 500,000 active wallets on a daily basis, which is extremely strong. Supra has fewer followers, and the number of wallets is also a bit lower, simply because it's a younger project. In terms of price and, let's say, community data, both have lost a bit in the last few months, although it's worth noting that ZEY is growing a bit faster than Supra, but they still have fairly similar performance at different levels. The whale concentration isn't exactly public for either project, but usually, with younger projects like Supra, it's higher, simply because the chance for distribution is naturally a bit lower. Conclusion: ZEY has been in the market longer, they've already arrived. Supra is still in the building phase here. But you have to say, it's exactly at this stage that the bigger opportunities usually arise. Let's move on to vision, to the narrative. The question now is, how clear is the vision and how well does it fit the current zeitgeist for both? Who's actually stronger in that regard? ZEY has a clear roadmap, a clear goal. They want to be the fastest layer 1 blockchain, especially for trading. Their communication is on point, they have strong VCs and strong media support. In the end, they're also backed by big names like Coinbase and Cycle Ventures. There are really strong investors involved, and of course, that provides security. Supra goes much deeper in terms of content. AutoFi, meaning automated DueFi, is an extremely exciting vision here, but when it comes to communication, they're not as clear as ZEY yet. However, Supra does have strong partners, for example MasterCard, Binance, and Coinbase. So, I'd say there are fewer big investors here, but more solid substance behind the scenes. To sum up, ZEY is a cleanly branded performer. Supra is more of a technological hidden champion. But sometimes, the real opportunity is exactly where no one is king. Let's move on to the potential check. ZEY and Supra are two altcoins, a data duel, but two completely different investment stories because they have totally different use cases. I've now checked all the data for both in the 5 categories, so you're fully informed. On my Zainings ranking list, which I'll show now, you can see where both of them stand. Both are, I'd say, in the solid range. You really have to admit that. ZEY scores here with strong stability, technology, and adoption, while Supra is more visionary, technically broader, and has greater growth potential. When it comes to risk-reward, Supra wins here because, on paper, they're extremely strong and, in terms of market cap, extremely low. But if you prefer predictable tokenomics, more stability, and big VC backing, then you're better off with ZEY, even if the return opportunities are lower there. But as I said, Supra is still young, technically strong, while ZEY is more mature, communicates clearly, and is already in the top 60 of the crypto rankings. By the way, if you want to know whether I have Supra or ZAY in my personal portfolio, check out Xenix Elite. There you can also learn how to analyze altcoins yourself. Especially with the upcoming altcoin season, so you can prepare yourself perfectly, go ahead and check it out. I've linked the info in the video description and in the pinned comment. Right now, you even get a 30% bonus. As always, let's move on to the price predictions. What does it look like here? For ZEY, price targets of $10 per ZEY are possible. That's already extremely strong. For ZEY, I'll display the price scenarios here. If you want the full scenarios, check out the complete analysis, I'll link it at the end. With Supra, it's an innovative product, and here prices of 0.25 per Supra are theoretically possible, which would be extremely strong. But if you also want to see the full analysis for both and different price scenarios, then I recommend these two analyses right here. Feel free to check them out. Form your own opinion. You'll get even more detailed information there. If you want to see more analyses, subscribe to the channel and then check out the analysis for both. Have fun and see you soon.